Welcome back to Kim's Cozy Corner. I'm Kim, and today we're going to talk about all of the things that I have in my pantry, as well as the things that I have in different cabinets. I don't have a lot of space, but I'm trying to preserve a year's supply of vegetables. So where do I put them? I'm going to show you where all of those places are today. Let's start with the picture of my pantry. When you walk into the pantry, you can see there's not much room for anything else, right? I actually installed this cabinet myself, one of my DIY projects. The cabinet or vanity was actually given to me by a coworker, a brand new vanity. All I needed to do was put the top on it and set it up. So I intentionally left a space to the side so that I could store extra large overflow storage type items like vinegars and things of that nature. And all of my sugars and flours and oatmeal and all of those things are on the shelves right here. So where do I put my canned goods? I had to get creative. Also in the pantry, you can see here that I have all of my dried herbs as well. And so my freeze-dried chicken broths and all of the herbs from the garden are in this space, as well as herbs that I've purchased from Azure Standard. But this is the space for herbs and my dry goods. But I have a year's supply of vegetables. So let's talk about the couple of places I have for them. My home is over 70 years old, so I don't have a newly remodeled home in a way that's conducive to storing large amounts of canned goods. I have this pantry space here, which is not very large, and in the top section here, I store all of my jams and apple butters. So there's strawberry jam, strawberry filling that I put on my homemade yogurt, raspberry jams, apple butter. These preservatives in this space is probably a 2-year supply, unless I give too many of them away. But this is just jams and jellies and butters in this one space here. And you can see I still have some canned fruit up here as well. I'm not perfect, but I'm striving to be more homegrown, homemade, all natural. But that's just jams and jellies. I said I have a year's supply of vegetables. Well, almost a year's supply. So let's go to my other storage space. You can see in this cabinet set up here, it's not much, but in this teeny little space here, I have most of my pickles and green beans and things of that nature. Let's take a look. In this space here, you can see a few jars of potatoes and salsas and bread and butter pickles, as well as some what we call chow chow, among other things. There's ketchup in here as well. Here are some better up close pictures of the different food that I've canned. So these are some salsas. This is regular salsa, medium for me, mild for the rest of the family. I also have some bread and butter pickles, as well as potatoes that I grew in my garden this year. These are carrots from a couple of years ago from the garden. And in addition to those items, I have some shishitos that I canned up because they came in faster than I can eat them. This is the chow chow that I talked about. As well as the homemade ketchup that I made from tomatoes from my garden, which was super easy. There's also, to the left there, some vanilla that I made, homemade vanilla. Check that video out. On the bottom shelf are my homemade beef broth. I buy my beef from a local farmer. And so I make homemade beef broth from beef bones. So this is all homemade beef broth in this section here. To the left in this other section, I have 3 shelves of additional canned foods. On the top shelf, I actually experimented with canning some collard greens to see if it would taste any better than a canned collard greens from the grocery store. And it actually does. It tastes just as if it would if I had froze it. There are pickles in this space, Southern style peas or field peas or Crowder peas, whatever you call those type of peas wherever you're from. And I also have sloppy joes in this space and tomato soup on this top shelf. On the middle shelf is nothing but green beans. This entire shelf consists of green beans. They're all green beans to us. The bottom shelf is a mixture of tomato sauces and applesauce. So I have stewed tomatoes down here. I have applesauce that I made from local apples grown in the area. And it's usually about a 2-year supply when I make applesauce as well. But it won't be this year. The girls have really been tearing this applesauce up. And then just traditional, what I call a bland batch of tomato sauce. So it'll have the peppers and onions in it, or it might be roasted peppers and onions, or maybe there are no onions and there's roasted peppers. Depending on what vegetables are ready at the time when I'm making the tomato sauce, those are the vegetables that'll go in the sauce. So I always put a note on there to know what's missing. So when I'm ready to make spaghetti sauce or chili or whatever it is I'm trying to make, I know what I need to add to that sauce. I do have one other overflow space, and it's not set up in any way, shape, or form. It's just wherever I could stuff some extra jars of material because I purchased more than I could use at any one time, and so I wanted to store it. So I absolutely moved those jars into whatever was available. That's it. That's a wrap. That's how I store my vegetables in my home. Almost a year's supply of most things. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Have a wonderful, safe day. Bye-bye.